What happens when ships face the most terrifying forces of nature? Today, we're counting down 10 monster waves caught on camera, each one a true test of survival. From gigantic cargo ships to smaller fishing vessels, the ocean shows no mercy. Each wave is a unique challenge, and how these ships survive is nothing short of incredible. We start off with a Navy patrol boat caught in the unforgiving waters of the Southern Ocean. February 2021. This was supposed to be a routine training exercise, but it quickly turned into a battle with nature itself. The Southern Ocean, notorious for its furious 50s and shrieking 60s, threw everything it had at this small boat. Winds reached storm force 12 on the Beaufort scale, and massive waves threatened to swallow the ship whole. With the water temperatures freezing between -2 and 10 degrees Celsius and depths plunging to 7,400 meters, these conditions are some of the toughest on Earth. Yet the crew held strong, bracing against the monstrous waves. Their preparation paid off, and after hours of grueling tests, the patrol boat managed to return to the main ship, safe and sound. But this was just a glimpse into the power of the Southern Ocean, and it's only the beginning. Next up, we move to the rough and relentless North Atlantic. On March 1st, the Scottish fishing vessel Audacious found itself facing waves taller than buildings off the west coast of Scotland. This state-of-the-art fishing trawler, built in 2016, was engineered for heavy seas. But even the most advanced technology couldn't calm the wrath of the ocean that day. At 28 meters long and 9 meters wide, the Audacious is a formidable ship, equipped with cutting-edge navigation systems and 775 horsepower under the hood. But as the waves crashed over the deck, all that mattered was survival. The ship rolled and pitched violently as the crew clung on. Despite the brutal conditions, the Audacious held strong, proving why it's considered one of the toughest vessels in the fleet. Our third clip brings us to a daring moment caught on camera just 5 miles offshore, as Storm Aisha loomed over the coast of Ireland. Two massive ships, the MSC Nicoletta II and Independent Quest, stood still, waiting for port entry. Meanwhile, a small pilot boat, the Baya, braved the towering waves for sea trials. As the storm approached, the sea began to unleash its fury. Huge waves crashed against the pilot boat as it tried to come alongside the massive cargo ships. Every movement was a gamble. One wrong move could have spelled disaster. But against the odds, the pilot boat successfully completed its trials, capturing stunning footage of the giant waves crashing into the ships. From the cold Atlantic to the chaotic Pacific, this bulk carrier had no idea what was coming as it ventured into a typhoon off the coast of North China. The Northwest Pacific is the most active ocean in the world for tropical cyclones, and this ship found itself trapped in the middle of one of its most powerful storms. As the typhoon struck, the massive vessel was tossed around like a toy, rolling and pitching uncontrollably. The wind howled, and the waves reached up to 30 meters high. The warning signals blared as the ship groaned under the pressure. This was Storm Force 12 on the Beaufort scale, the highest classification for wind and waves. For days, the crew fought to keep the carrier from capsizing. And in the end, against all odds, they managed to escape the storm. But the scars left on the ship tell the story of a fight against one of nature's deadliest forces. Finally, we head to the infamous Bay of Biscay, a graveyard of ships where hundreds of vessels have met their end. On January 19th, a 19,000-ton merchant navy ship made its way from France to the UK, cutting through the storm-lashed waters. But as the storm reached its peak, the ship found itself in a life-or-death struggle. The waves, driven by a Storm Force 12, pounded the ship relentlessly. The crew faced hours of violent rolling and pitching, with the ship's massive steel bow bending under the force of the waves. Water flooded the deck. And by the end of the storm, the damage was staggering. Holes torn through the hull, the load shifted, and the entire ship battered and bruised. It was a true miracle that the crew made it back to port with their lives. But for the Bay of Biscay, this was just another day. You've seen ships battle waves that most would never dare face. But what's coming next? It's a whole new level of chaos. The waves are bigger, the storms more violent, and the danger unimaginable. Will these ships hold steady, or will the ocean finally win the battle? You won't believe what's still to come. Let's move to the last 5 moments where the seas and ships face their ultimate tests. In January 2020, the cruise ship MV Columbus was on one of its final journeys when it faced the unforgiving Atlantic Ocean. Just a few hundred kilometers off the coast of France, it sailed into waves that towered over the deck like giants. This region, with depths of over 4,700 meters, is infamous for claiming countless ships over the centuries. But despite the ocean's fury, the 247-meter-long MV Columbus fought back, resisting the fate that had claimed so many vessels before. Yet the ship's real ending would come not from the sea, but from the consequences of the global pandemic. Sold and beached at a shipbreaking yard in India, this would be its final voyage. On February 28, a chemical tanker crossing the North Atlantic found itself at the mercy of a 3-day storm. The waves slammed against the ship relentlessly, forcing the crew to brace themselves for one of the ocean's toughest tests. This is the same ocean that swallowed the Titanic, and hundreds of other ships have vanished in these treacherous waters over the years. With each passing moment, the waves seem to grow more massive, towering above the deck, like walls of water. The crew had no choice but to ride it out and hope their tanker could survive the monstrous waves. December 9th, deep in the Indian Ocean, the fishing trawler Ocean Venture 2 faced an unexpected crisis, running out of fuel right in the middle of a storm. With no power and no way to escape the monstrous waves, the crew was stranded. This 77-meter-long vessel, with its 2,600 horsepower engine, usually thrives in these waters. But today, it was at the mercy of the ocean.
Anjay, kelem. Ngeri. Ngeri, bro.
In a daring rescue attempt, fellow fishermen arrived, attaching ropes to tow the giant ship to safety. But with waves so enormous they lifted the trawler meters out of the water. This was no easy feat. The tension on the ropes was immense, but somehow, both ships and their crews made it through the storm alive. December 12th, the Royal New Zealand Navy's warship was on patrol in the Southern Ocean when it met one of the ocean's most dangerous forces. A massive monster wave. The ship was on the lookout for illegal fishing operations when the wave crashed directly into its windows, shaking the entire crew.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared then.
This isn't just any ocean, it's the coldest and windiest on Earth, where winds known as the furious 50s and shrieking 60s whip up colossal waves. The warship was built to withstand the elements, but in that moment, even the most seasoned sailors couldn't help but feel humbled by the raw power of nature. And here it is, the ultimate test of endurance.
Oh shit.
February 24th in the unforgiving North Sea, an emergency and rescue vessel found itself in the heart of a storm force 12. At first, the crew seemed to take the experience in stride, navigating the rough seas with skill and confidence. But this was no ordinary storm. The waves began to grow taller, more powerful. And in the distance, a true monster wave began to form. The sea turned brutal. The crew watched as a colossal wave surged towards the vessel, and then it hit smashing into the ship head-on, rattling every part of it. It was a moment that could humble even the most experienced sailors. In the end, it was clear, this isn't a job for everyone. The sea had tested them to the limit. The ocean is unpredictable and unforgiving, but these ships prove that human engineering can stand up to nature's fury. Which of these waves blew you away the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you're ready for more thrilling ocean adventures, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and hit that subscribe button for more jaw-dropping content from Nature Dive.